Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. It is a brand new week and it promises to be a very, very interesting one. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things this wonderful Monday. There are quite a number of things that are actually happening right now. There's a lot of issues around the country. Protest is going on about Mr. VDM and the GT Bank and EFCC, and I think in this whole mix, I think there's DSS that has even been mentioned here as well. So that we're going to be talking about it in depth. NELFUND is still going on and talking about a couple of things. NELFUND is telling you specifically that from their own end, money is not missing. That it is maybe the universities that seem to have issues. But from their own end, money is not missing. Also, from that as well, looks like the power subsidy the removal of the power subsidy is imminent, as the minister himself, the Minister of Power, had something interesting to say about that we're going to be talking about. And a couple of other things, actually. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Dolupo, and with me in the studio today is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking about quite a number of things today that's pretty interesting at the bar today. Okay, first things first. I think the EFCC has officially come out to say that Mr. VDM, or VeryDarkMan, or I don't know what he's called instantly, as it's official that he has been arrested, and they're saying that they're arraigning him on a couple of counts. There are quite a number of things, and there are a bit of petitions against him. And now you might be wondering, what's GT Bank's business in all this drama? Apparently, it was said to have been arrested in front of GT Bank, meaning that GT Bank caused his arrest, or was informed the authorities, and put it like that, informed the authorities about his arrest. And I think that's where we should start from. And then today there's supposed to be a protest. There's been protest in Abuja, and I think they're protesting some places also around the north central, about some places where people are protesting his release. And I have a couple of questions.
The protesting is released or his arrest?
He's released now. His arrest?
He's been arrested. He hasn't been released.
The protesting is arrest, that they want him released, yeah. And so I have a couple of questions, yeah, which maybe I actually don't understand some things. It was said that he was arrested outside a GT Bank branch. First things first, even if banks were, were alerted and said that whenever he gets there, they need to be informed, I'm not sure that the bank, and I'm not even zeroing on this bank specifically, I don't think any bank has the authority to not inform authorities about. Do you understand? The bank, maybe there was something that had gone out that everybody should be on alert that they want to arrest this person. I think it is their duty at that point to alert the authorities. Not saying that this particular bank or branch, that was what happened. I'm just saying, because there could also be the angle where he had been maybe tracked down, and that was where they felt it was the easiest to pick him up from. That's another angle to it. But I'm saying that can the bank, if they've been informed, at this point, whichever bank had been informed that when this person comes to your branch, you have to alert us. Do they have the choice not to alert government authorities or security agencies in this matter? 1. 2, the EFCC had announced, and that, okay, now, for that reason, some people seem to have been shutting down their bank accounts in this particular bank, And even the videos of people cutting up their ATMs. And this is supposed to be in protest of this person's arrest. Let me be civil. I would like a reasonable explanation to those actions, because honestly, it doesn't make plenty sense to me. But that's my own opinion. It doesn't make plenty sense to me. So maybe if somebody else, tries to explain it to me in another way, I would maybe understand. 3, the EFCC has now come out to say that he's under arrest for a couple of petitions. I'm waiting for when the number of people, and this is aside politicians that we've heard, popular people, being arrested by the EFCC or the DSS or the police. How many protests has happened? How come this person, and according to, I think the report, I saw a report from the EFCC saying that if he gets arraigned...
How am I going to keep track of all of this?
Sorry. If he gets arraigned and he meets his bail conditions, he'll be released. So what's the protest about?
Okay, so what am I responding to?
Everything.
Now? It's a whole lot.
Yeah, from the do banks have the authority not to inform security agencies if they were actually informed that you need to alert us? Like, is it their fault at this point? Because a lot of people seem like it's their fault.
Look, there's a whole lot to talk about. Nigeria is talking about it. Even outside Nigeria, everybody's talking about VDMs, arrest and VDM and all of that. And answering your question directly, because it's a question, there is no way an organized, body or a corporate body would not share information with law enforcement. Mm-hmm. They have several meetings, even on the regular, and they have them on speed dial. That's one. So yes, there could be culpable in his arrest. There could be.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait. About this particular scenario, he posted on social media, I am going to GT Bank. My mother's account has had issues at GT Bank. This, and that. Same guy post, I am at GT Bank. So, it might not even be GT Bank informing anybody. Now, let me put it out there. I'm not a big fan of GT Bank anymore. That's the truth. But it's my job to try and look for the truth in all of this and balance the stories. Then you form your opinion from it. So you already told everybody where you were.
So it wasn't
law enforcement.
It wasn't difficult.
Look, law enforcement have people on social media monitoring people of interest on a regular. You don't need to take my word for it, or just go and check that he actually gave his location away.
Okay.
So that's already one. But that also answers your question. Now, after all the talk, it was his closest friend. There's a guy called Coco P. I think he's an artist, but he's more known as VDM's sidekick. It was Coco P who put the word out there that local. And I like what he does whenever VDM gets into trouble. And he's gotten into a couple of troubles, if I'm allowed to use that word like that. Uh-huh. And Coco P would stand by and everything. So it was Coco P that they put out the information. And there was a guy who claimed that he was with VDM when he was arrested. And he said that it was roughened up inside the bank. And then that, there's this cubicle that you go through that kind of like scans you before you enter the bank.
Yeah.
And all of that. And that he was trapped there for, some people claim, 10 minutes. Those are the stories that we heard from these reliable sources who are, VDM's people.
Okay.
Then GT Bank now released CCTV footage of VDM leaving the bank. The VDM I saw in that CCTV footage had walked out of that cubicle. So that doesn't say it didn't happen. Okay. But what I saw was he walked out, then walked back to hug and hail someone that was probably greeting him because there was no audio. That doesn't look like someone that was trapped for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, yeah.
So he walks back and greets Microphone check. So he walked back and he greeted some. I need to show.
Yeah. So if that is the case, because we're still going to continue with what you're saying, yeah?
So he turns back and greets someone and leaves the premises of the bank.
Okay.
From the look of things, they might have been waiting for him outside the bank, or they were driving up to catch him up at the bank.
Okay.
However, the guy who was riding with him, who claimed he was there, talked about how they were ambushed by law enforcement people. And they didn't even know they were law enforcement because they were not wearing uniforms. There were no badges or anything. And this thing is actually, this aspect of this arrest to me is wrong. Because I don't know how long we're going to keep doing things where our law enforcement people will act in a Gestapo-like manner.
You're supposed to actually identify yourself to even the person you want to arrest. Yeah.
People have rights, regardless of whatever crime you think they've committed. And this is where I'm not happy with them. Again, we've heard about an arrest warrant and everything. At that point in time, shouldn't those things be out there and all of that? But hey, what do we do? So the guy claims that they were arrested and they were blindfolded.
Okay.
And they were beaten up in the vehicle in an helix, according to him.
Okay.
Then there were two of them that they told them to lie down, and that they roughened him and VDM up. Then they took VDM's phone and his own phone. They said at some point that they got to a building and you know that they climbed some stairs because they were blindfolded. He doesn't know where. Now we don't know how this guy was released. Maybe they just checked and said it's not the person of interest, but that VDM gave them password and they must have unlocked his phone and everything. So that's a lot of stuff coming from VDM's side that I'm relaying just in case people do not know.
Yeah.
Now, if we're having that discussion, we're talking about it like this. There's more updates from his camp about how they are asking GT Bank to release a longer footage showing what actually transpired inside
the bank.
And
so sorry, Tolokwe Rogers says it's underlining. I don't know what is underlining. Could you please give us more information?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's. I hope we're doing that now.
Yo, I'm asking him. Maybe it's something that.
Okay, what he means by
statement.
underlining?
Yes,
yeah.
that's it.
You know, so what it is that he's been arrested now, and based on the information that his camp put out, people got mad at GT Bank, and they started shutting their accounts according to them. And there are a lot of information. Some people say 100,000 people have shut their account, and and the people who are countering are saying, how much do they have there, blah, blah, blah. Then, people were now asking for the EFCC or the DSS to put out some information. Not until a few hours ago did we confirm from a reliable media source, which is the BBC Pidgin, that, of course, it will be arraigned. You get that?
Yeah.
And some of the information out there, unconfirmed though, is that it was actually the DSS that carried out the arrest, and the EFCC were interested in it because there are petitions against him and there's proof of issues that he's had. Now, a lot of people have also referred to a particular video that he made where he said, and I've seen that video, that over 90% of the EFCC people are corrupt, and that if they doubt him, they should charge him to court and he will prove it, that he has proof. He had also at times insinuated that he had people on the inside who will feed him information and all of that.
Okay, so Tolokwe Rogers says there's several petitions against him. Yeah, according to what the EFCC is saying now, that there are petitions against him. Now, I want to take you back to the issue of GT Bank being culpable. And this was the question I asked before.
Yeah.
If GT Bank or any other bank in Nigeria had been informed by security agencies that when this person, or if this person gets to any of your branches, you have to inform us. Can they do otherwise?
Well,
are they not bound by law to?
I think I've already answered that. I actually emphatically answered that. I don't know why you're going back to that.
No, you had said that they're culpable. What I'm saying is
I didn't say they were culpable. I did not say they were culpable. When did I say they were culpable?
GT Bank, yeah, you said it a few minutes. I think you said it a few minutes.
I'm saying what people are saying.
Oh, what people are saying. No, I'm saying now that do they have a choice if they were told?
Well, I already answered that. I did. So I don't know why you're repeating it over and over again.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, you were not paying attention, and it's fine. It happens to me too, you know. And I said it over and over again that beyond that, there is no bank or any structured organization. This is what I said, or corporate body that is giving an instruction to that effect that will not comply. And I also said that they also meet regularly and they share information regularly.
Yeah.
So that has answered your question.
Okay, so Dolupo just says also allegedly Tinubu's son's issues too.
Yeah, we've heard a whole lot of that. Now, if you want to do that, let's expand it. There is a case or an issue ongoing with a gospel singer that it is rumored that, and it's not even rumored, there are headlines out there, there are stories out there of how he had been invited on more than one occasion. And at some point, he went to China. And when he got back from China, I'm like, VDM is a bold guy. He's been invited and he's walked into different police stations before. But he went to Cote d'Ivoire again. And that's when that matter with Abike cropped up and everything. And I'm not sure that it's one. At some point, it is rumored that he has over 30 court cases against him. Beyond petitions, or amongst some of the petitions, some have made it to the courts. You know? So these are some of the things that are being discussed and bandied out there. And you cannot put it past it. Yes, it could be. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's part of it. But even watching some of the videos that he makes and some of the things he says, I fear for him.
That's what I'm going to. That at times it feels like, I think that he does too much. Personally, I think that there is a bit of, and I think that I don't know why it seems to be a thing with a lot of, would I say, Nigerian activists. I get it that you want to shake up the system, you want to, but there quite a number of things that does not seem like is being done according to the law. Okay, so Dolupo, you cannot make an omelette without cracking an egg. There is no activist anywhere in the world that does not have a run-in with the law. At times, you have expedited run-ins to, boost yourself. It happens a lot. Some people do it. It's a strategy. I'm not saying that's what VDM is doing, because if you look at VDM, in fairness, if you have an open mind, he has a good heart. He has good intentions. Yeah. But he doesn't know where to draw the line. I agree. But however, there is no activist that knows where to draw the line. No, none. There are times when you look at people like Gani Fawehinmi. If you ask him, at some point in one interview, Gani Fawehinmi said that in all his cars, in his office, in his house, he has a prison bag. And what is a prison bag? A bag that has his drugs and all the items that he might need if he gets arrested. Do you understand? So even if you are not ruffling feathers or you are not doing whatever, as an activist, you will always have run-ins against the law. The activist that you picture in your mind is someone who is always being careful. But they exist. But they are not in the league of this current man, because I think he is gone and grown in leaps and bounds, and with the help of social media. And again, with the fact that he refuses to collect money like some people did. In some instances, you've seen cases where, it's the truth. It's the truth. There are some people who, when there are issues, because they have a big followership on social media, they charge people money to have them as guests. It's a fact. And you had to go there. I have to speak the truth. What are we doing here? Again, to publicize issues or to help people out, you ask them for money. VDM does not. Yeah. That's one thing that stands him out. Another thing that stands him out is his charitable work. And when he started his charity work, when someone like Don Jazzy looked at him and gave him 100 million, and other people contributed,
it really shot him into the limelight. However, he has never claimed to be a saint. So he won him a lot of enemies also. Him coming for people that people thought were untouchable. One of the good things that VeryDarkMan has done is in tackling people who are selling fake products, fake spiritual items.
With the people bleaching.
Yeah. A lot of these beauty people have stopped advertising. A lot of the influencers are careful the kind of jobs that they take on. One of these influencers, she showed the houses that she built recently. Was the same person that took money from someone at Alaba Market and did not do the job that you were paid for.
Job. I said, can't you give him money or something?
You can't give fine girl money. And VDM tackled her, and the guy got a refund. These are the things that work for him. The fact that, someone was scammed and he tries to help them get their monies back and he doesn't charge them. So these are the things that stand him out, you get. However, he's young and a tad bit naive. And I wish that he had some wise people in his corner.
More like better lawyers.
Beyond lawyers. He has lawyers, but I wish he had some wise counsel also that could tell him, no, you can't go that far. If you notice, he started checking himself after 1 or 2 arrests that he has had.
Yeah.
He started checking himself, and you're looking at him as like, allegedly, or this and that and that. But there are times when he's so bold about it.
However, do people realize that even saying the word allegedly
does not indemnify you.
Indemnify you out of some of these things.
It does not completely indemnify you.
It does it actually.
One of the other things that you look at is that if he's going to tackle something, there's no way he won't ruffle feathers. But I wish that there are things that he could do and put the message out there without getting to the point where he gets arrested like this. There's no time he won't be arrested from time to time, because activists always look, you are going against the system, and there are things that some people in the system will use against you. Now, a lot of allegations are being, just like Tolu on YouTube is saying, some people are saying is this issues with the president's son, that is mentioned, the president's son and all that. It's possible. It's actually possible. Some people are saying that it's Messi Chinwo matter that he has. Yeah. It's also possible. But I'm saying that it could be all of those things. It's very possible too. Now, it needs a very strong legal team, because no matter what it is, again, some of the evidence that he says he has in all these cases, and I see his confidence. You know why he has that confidence? He has some information. You will know that, this guy has some information, but there are better ways to use it. But now that he has come to this point, he has to save himself and really put some of these things out so that they can back off on him. Because there are times when you listen and you say, okay, this guy is up to good. He's hoping that some things will work. But I also want to appeal to Nigerians. It's good. I know that we're constantly looking for heroes. We're constantly searching for heroes. And VDM is not claiming to be one. He keeps telling people that he's not a saint. He has had his own dark past. You know? Him being a black man that had a dark to it, you people don't understand. He knows what he's saying. Very dark black man. That is his moniker. That's his name, right? You know? Apart from his real name, you know? So, do not place too much pressure on this man thinking that he's infallible.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's not.
We have a comment from Belimois Janet Vaith. Says, this one that we haven't heard from Vincent, are we even sure he's alive? Let them show
proof of
us
life
first. Let's see if he's alive. No one's seen him. Let him go at TIFF.
Basically, they want proof of life. What's the person's name? Belimois. Yes, you want proof of life, and it's a good thing, especially in a situation like this. But I have a very strong feeling that he's alive and well.
I don't think that is that serious. That
I have a feeling that he's alive.
I don't think we're in those dark ages anymore. This is just my own opinion. I don't think that is that bad. I don't, and I also don't see the police, and I think that this is where we should also keep an open mind. I don't see the police or the EFCC or anybody releasing a picture or what's it called. Maybe until he gets to court, then you can know. Do you understand? I don't think it's in their way to be posting picture of, oh, this person is alive. Oh, but I honestly don't think we should take it that far yet. I don't think we are in those ages. I think we're past that stage.
I think people should take it as far as they want, as long as it's within the law. And what this person has asked for is not too much. Proof of life. It's okay. It's okay because it's been 3 days or so. He was arrested on Friday. I think this is going to be the 4th day.
Yeah. Also,
I don't think they're going too far.
And videos of people destroying. Some branches of GT Bank are said to have shut down because some people want to destroy some. And I think that in whatever situation, I do not think that violence does anything. I think that's also one thing that we need to also reiterate. We cannot, 2 wrongs don't make it right. We cannot continue. We're not in Banana Republic. We can't be doing some things. It's just you think, okay, what the government or the police or EFCC did is wrong. We can't be breaking the law to prove a point.
Well, that I also don't subscribe to violence. Some guy made a video yesterday claiming he's in Benue State and that they had done some things to some GT Bank branches and all of that. I hope he was just chasing clout and that is not true, that they had done those things that he claims in the video and all of that. And I just hope that, guys, if you really support VeryDarkMan, wait for an official statement.
Yeah, that's it.
Get behind his lawyers, whoever the lawyers are. I know Deji. What's Deji's son? Adeyanju.
It's not the first time he has been arrested. There was one time he was in jail for like weeks.
Yeah, Deji was somewhere in Gambia or somewhere, and it should be back in Nigeria by now, and all of that. Get behind his lawyers, get behind his family, support him. But please don't take the laws into your own hands because you won't make it easy for him. Now, law enforcement people also would treat this case very carefully. They will treat this case carefully and they won't want any kind of backlash of sorts. I remember one of the issues when he had a run-in with the police and he got to sit down with the IG of police. And after that, I noticed a little bit of change in his approach and everything. Mm-hmm. But a few days after, he made a video wearing the police uniform. Yeah. And you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. Things.
But at least a little bit.
It was just warned.
Let's err on the side of caution. That's it. So we definitely will follow this story. I will come up with more updates on that. Interestingly, there's still a lot of gist going around. One of the gist that has been going around for the past 1 week, and there's been a lot of things that need clarity over, is NELFUND, basically the student loan scheme for tertiary institutions in the country. And I think this conversation started when NELFUND accused authorities of institutions of playing hanky-panky with students' monies, students' school fees, where I think the story was that a lot of students and parents started reaching out to NELFUND, that on the platform it will say that loans have been approved, and the schools will now say, oh, the money has not come in, and that basically alleging that some schools will then, because some people don't want the registration to close, they will still go in search of the money and then pay the school. The NELFUND then pays the school as well, and then according to the student, the student does not know, has already gone to source of funds somewhere else, but according to his name is already attached to a loan that he didn't benefit from. Also accusing schools of also inflating school fees.
Yeah.
So NELFUND pays that money, and we also remember that the student still has a loan to repay. So there's about twice the amount of money that to those students' accounts that their name is attached to, and those what started it. Then there was gist about how there was money that was being disbursed and one that was not being disbursed, and there was a lot of 71 billion naira that NELFUND is looking for. Now NELFUND has come to say that there's no money that is missing. I think it was the ICPC. The ICPC now got involved in the investigation, and now NELFUND is coming out again to say that on their own part there is no money missing. It is from the side of the institution that investigations are ongoing.
All this just tells me, as a person, as a Nigerian, is that fraud and corruption.
Why are we so wicked, though?
Will be perpetrated regardless of who the beneficiaries are. The student loan scheme for me is a fantastic thing. I think it's a welcome development. Mm-hmm. I've seen and heard a lot of students saying that it's brought them some succor. The government, beyond paying your school fees, is also giving them monthly stipends.
Stipends, yeah.
And of course, it's a loan that will eventually pay it back, and it's the payment. The repayment terms are not draconian. You get, they're not something like a Shylock would have brought. So why are the people in the system, in the school, on the part of the school majorly, trying to circumvent the system because they're trying to make money for themselves? Look, Nigerians are going through a lot.
NELFUND is not up to a year, is it?
No, it's not. Nigerians are going through a lot, and you trying to scam students, because at the end of the day, it's the students that you're scamming. And of course, you're scamming the government, but it's the students that might lose out.
Okay, so we have a comment.
All right, go ahead.
Gotten at 321 says, if anything like going to GT Bank to destroy anything, just know it's government sponsored because it's their modus operandi. Nigerian youths have gone beyond that.
Amen.
Amen.
I like that, though. I like that.
That's all I can
I like
say
that.
to that.
I like that because let it just be like that. Let it be like that. But but based on that, there's now a lot of work for the law enforcement people to do, whether sponsored by government or not. If law enforcement fails to prevent it,
exactly. I also don't think that everything should be it's government this, government that. The truth is that personally, for me, I can only vouch for myself. Even in some situations, I can't even vouch for what I might do in some situations. So maybe, Gotin, you're sure of yourself. Maybe you're sure to a large extent of the people around you. Some people just want to look for, they're going to destroy a bank. Maybe there's money that can come out of it. So maybe we should not vouch for people that much. However, like you had said, basically, is government authorities, security agencies just need to make sure whatever is sponsored, they do not this thing does not degenerate into violence. That's it.
Before we leave this matter, because we're still talking, and you guys can discuss it as long as we are here for an hour, and I think we've done about 30-something minutes. We should also not shy away from what took VDM to the bank. Let's be very honest with ourselves. Nigerian banks have not covered themselves in glory in the last 1 year.
If I open the chapter of what this particular bank has done to me.
So I get how people want to protect brands. You want to protect brands. We get that. As a business person now, talking about brands also, I need to be careful. But we also need to speak the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is that Nigerian banks will frustrate your life. Why did he go there in the first place? It was to fight for someone who was getting debits for transactions that she did not initiate.
Shout out to people like her. Oh my God. So, it's disgusting. I will not even I
get the need to protect businesses. GT Bank is employing a lot of people. You don't want to put people out of work. We get that.
Or do we even
but can they also clean up their system? They cannot sit down here and say that there have not been some stupid deductions on people's accounts. You get debit notes for things that you did not initiate. It's happening.
You can't track your money. You can't. It's ridiculous, and that's honest.
It's happening. So
it is ridiculous.
Don't blindly say because you are supporting the government or you want to support GT Bank, you will not listen to the reason why he went there.
Because I think that's where it even starts.
Nobody is talking about it.
Nobody is talking about it, and this is beyond VDM. And like I said, it's the bar, yeah. So, but if I open the chapter of what banks have showed me since, would I say September last year, you wonder like, are we not sure that we're going to start putting our monies on that?
Someone sent me money about a month ago And I didn't get it till today. Till today. So when we go on and on about these things, let's also stay focused on the problems.
Yeah,
can they also clean their house up? We hear about how their IT department has issues. Okay, we get that.
How many months ago?
But you're charging us now.
If it's your IT issue, then shut down the bank.
There is, look.
Shut it down if you can't work with what is there.
Call it free advert for OPay. But why do I have money in OPay and they are giving me interest every day? And all the other banks that I have
that have been there for years
are debiting me.
Debiting you on a steady. On a steady. You know the funny thing? I tried something.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
I tried something last week. It was very this is not even GT Bank. This is another of the brothers. Yeah. Put the same amount of money in my OPay and another bank.
Another bank.
Yeah. Same exact amount of money in both banks.
Yeah.
5 days after
your OPay will increase.
Oh no, I got like daily. Yeah. Every day there's one. I got 100 naira electronic levy. Keep in mind. Don't see
what
this where let's not even lie.
My electronic
I was going to
ask
account? You because I remember when I was like, I even OPay when they start deducting 15 naira for
they made them
electronic levy. Yeah. I said, so why is one deducting 15 naira? And another one is deducting me 100 naira.
That one is band A, the other one is band C.
Band C, band D. Okay. Then, they would have started removing all sorts of monies here and there. I kid you not. Let's just say after 5 days, I didn't have the same amount of money there anymore. Let's just put it like that. So, Joel says, to me, I'm not saving money in the bank again. I change all my money to crypto. I use OPay for naira transactions.
That's a way of safeguarding yourself. I'm not going to speak for any. I cannot honestly stand here and speak for any bank.
Ruby O says, go and check the history of GT Bank. They've been stealing their customers' money. Okay, so funny enough, this is not even GT Bank. If you have more than one bank that you use in Nigeria,
you will know.
All of them. It's the same modus operandi. It's not peculiar to one person.
This is true. So
it's not peculiar.
Beyond maybe you like VDM, you don't like VDM, he was arrested.
It's a conversation we need to have.
Let's have the conversation about what took him there. You see now that nobody's talking about that.
Remember the one that we went to a particular bank 3 days back to back. And this is not even GT Bank.
We were going to a bank every day.
Back to back. Over ridiculous things.
As if we're walking there.
To open app is problem. To get ATM is problem. You get the ATM will not work. They are deducting. Oh, come on.
Let's get real here, people.
It's just ridiculous.
So I get it again if people feel the need to punish any bank or any branch and everything. But please, let's not get physical about it. Yeah. Again, sadly, even when you are moving your money from any bank, you are making money for them.
I'm making that money. Making a lot of money.
It's a very sad situation.
I think the banking system in Nigeria needs a complete overhaul.
It
needs a complete overhaul. This is not now the banks. This now goes back to the CBN. Because except these banks will sell that all this money that they are shaving off our accounts. They're giving it to CBN. The CBN has to do something about this nonsense. It can't continue.
I've done free promo for OPay. But I'm not saying follow me. I just said that I put money there now and I use it for my regular transactions more. But I want to say shout out to Sterling Bank too. Since we're talking and we're naming brands.
Oh, it looks like they started posting zero charges and all that.
If one bank can say Nigerians are going through a lot, let me reduce it. Why are the other banks not following? They even were tagging them on social media.
How do they want to post trillions? How they are making trillions per month and per year? How do you expect them to make?
So let's be honest with this conversation. Let's be very honest. The CBN needs to wake up.
They need to do a lot more. They definitely need to do a lot more.
You need to wake up. And the sad part is that people are afraid to keep money at home for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Someone said something on social media. I started laughing. So there's something called ajo in Nigeria. We call it esusu, ajo, or thrift savings and all. And someone said that you give money to the thrift collector and collector dies.
No, what's that?
Your money's gone.
You better wake up. So
how do people, and you know, the guy who talked about crypto, hey, that's another way to save money. But again, my fear with
the way crypto is moving
is the you know, the funny thing about crypto is one moment is and the next one is I'm like,
my blood pressure is cannot take it.
So the CPN needs to wake up and protect some of us who are not really going to do crypto. We won't do it, and we don't want to keep money at home.
Oh God!
We need to keep our banks honest.
Exactly.
And if one bank can cancel some charges, why can't the others?
The others do it. End of story. Anyway, so we had talked about NELFUND. We definitely will follow this NELFUND matter, and I think that it is sad. In less than a year, some people are always trying to circumvent the system, look for loopholes in the system. And I was talking to my cousin a few days ago, and he was like that. He has come to the conclusion that at times Nigerians deserve everything coming to them. Because why do we feel that they need? Because whether it's NELFUND, whether it's the schools, whether it's obvious that there's something wrong going somewhere.
Yeah,
there's something wrong somewhere. And this is supposed to benefit less. In fact, you don't even have to be less privileged to access this these funds. It could just be my parents has other things they want to use money to do.
Just to support what you're saying.
Pay for your fees by yourself.
Just to support what you're saying. We have a misconception about loans.
Yeah.
And that's what makes rich people richer.
Exactly, yeah.
They actually live on loans.
They realize that, okay, I have this money, but I don't have to use...
Yeah, I can use my money for something else.
I can use other people's money.
When I use other people's money for this.
Exactly.
So student loans are a welcome development.
Don't let's frustrate the system. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, the president is set to meet GenCos over the 4 trillion naira power sector debt. It looks like this matter is not going anywhere anytime soon. I remember, was it last week, about 2 weeks ago, where they were talking about they might actually go on strike because of the debt that the federal government is owing them, but still talking about it. Major issue about it now is that the power minister is declaring that electricity subsidy might just be on the way out. This is saying that Nigeria's economy cannot continue to fund the electricity subsidy. And
fellow Nigerians,
shout out to bad A people who already
brace yourselves. When government talks like this,
it's happening.
The plan is already
in motion.
I
honestly would.
And according to them and according to the practitioners in the business, the cost of delivering power per unit is around the amount that Band A is paying. Of course, with a slight markup. It's
going to be a little. It's not a little. I think it's going to be a lot on people. However, and it's something that I've always said. I think that it is not fair that Band A people get to pay so much, and someone that gets 16 hours power that is in Band B, and someone that gets 4 hours power pays the same thing. I personally feel that the band you are on determines, and I don't think, this is why I don't think that the subsidy should go away yet. I just think that there should be whatever subsidy, maybe from Band B, but there is a measure of subsidy depending on the band. If you get 16 hours power, there's nothing wrong paying 150, 170 per.
You know how the cable channels, the companies charge you?
Different
when
packages.
You are on the highest premium package, you pay with dual view and recorder.
That's what I think.
Then when you are on the lesser package, I think that should happen,
because there's no point in putting people on Band B to Band E or F or whatever. If I get 16 hours power and another gets 4 hours power,
but the subsidy that they want to remove now would be unfair on people who don't get enough power supply.
That's what I'm saying. So if they are the ones that you are paying heavily on subsidy for, maybe they do deserve it. But you cannot tell me someone getting up to 16 hours power a day, uncle, you should pay more than what you should pay a lot more than that.
So Nigerians, while I'm saying brace yourselves, please lend your voice to this. We know that they've removed a lot of subsidies, but this power subsidy should not be removed until government can guarantee us an improved power generation, transmission, and distribution. Honestly, let Nigerians at least know that there's one tiny thing that you are doing for them. Now, the sad part for someone like me, home and office were on ban. Hey, so we're no longer subsidized. And for the people who are subsidized, it's not a crime. They are Nigerians.
No, it is.
And of course, it's not their fault
that your location. Apparently, it's your location that determines whatever it is.
It's not their fault, you know. And I get where government is coming from, but please, don't pile too much on Nigerians.
I agree.
Because there is a breaking point. There's a tipping point.
Yep.
And government must be more creative. You know, you must be more creative.
Okay. Now, just wanted to put this out. The federal government has launched $100,000 funding initiative for filmmakers and artists. And I think this is actually a good thing, really.
Yeah, a big shout out to the minister.
There's a fund that people can actually access to get some of these things. And maybe filmmakers more. I think that, and I'm not trying to downplay what artists do, but it looks like artists, especially ones with record labels, seem to have funding. They get funding from the record labels and all that. I think that funding is more difficult for filmmakers, especially because their own work of art is more elaborate. So
we've heard about different interventions in the creative industry from time to time. But this one is, I think there is more structured. You need to be able to bring a plan that shows that this is what you want to do and this is how you want to achieve it and everything. And it's not a grant you get. Providing funding via the way of grant is different from maybe loans and, you know, boosting your business and all. But in all of that, the people who activate these things, the people who will be able to access it, please use the money for what it's for.
So
that you don't block.
We don't block other people. Remember the guy that got arrested, that got funding from Netflix, that never got those kind of things. Please.
PS is not a Nigerian, so don't worry.
No, it's not a Nigerian, and it's not Nigeria. However, there's also been talks of how now some Nigerian producers were doing all sorts of things. But anyway, moving on from that quickly. One person I actually wanted to commend is Governor Zulum. Apparently, he's resettled 6,000 IDPs, and they're saying they're upgrading Maiduguri's prison skills center. And why I wanted to talk about the IDPs is that we should actually change the narrative. Like, IDP camps are not a permanent thing. They are supposed to be stopgaps. But in some states, it looks like it has become a permanent thing.
Yeah, so well done, Governor Zulum. And as an addendum to what Dolupo said, this is a charge to the military, to the police, to the JTF, to reduce the case of IDPs by being able to tackle the bandits and all of that.
Yeah. The Nigerian Police IG has reaffirmed the ban on officers posting uniform photos on social media, carrying bags and umbrellas for VIPs.
There was still, there's a video that I think has gone viral on
two policemen that were doing nonsense.
Not even that one.
No, that one.
There's a party that some people were, you had to scan the IV that you were given before you go in.
Yeah.
I still saw a policeman being handed something. And this was on Saturday here. The truth is that the entire police force itself needs reorientation.
Yes, it does.
There's still videos that you see out there. People are spraying money and they are spraying the police in their uniform, or they are lining up to be paid by Chinese people and all of that.
You're gonna go there.
Are this not facts? It's not about me going anywhere. We can't have this. And it always takes me back to the days when I was way younger. I was a Boy Scout, and we had to follow some decorum, some behaviors. We could not eat in public. Even when you want to eat, you take your beret off and put it in your shoulder strap. The Nigerian police, the military, kudos to them, but the police needs
especially the police
reorientation. The military are still on point when it comes to decorum and everything.
Anyway, interesting news. Just wanted to put it out there.
And again, Mr. IG, didn't you say you were withdrawing all these people from VIPs in the first place?
Please, can we move on?
I'm just asking.
Anyway, human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi has threatened to sue those behind his arrest and detention. This was over the halter defamation case between him and Afe Babala. So I'm guessing he wants to sue Afe Babala now.
This is good. It's his right. He has a right to sue.
Okay.
It's his right.
We'll see where.
I don't like when people threaten to sue because it's as sued that makes more sense.
I don't know why, John. Why you threat? Don't threaten.
I will
to
sue you.
It's after I've sued you, then it will now come out in the news that I've sued you.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's within his constitutional rights.
It is.
He feels his rights are violated, so he should sue.
I'm talking about people suing people. Over the weekend or since past week, there's been a lot of controversy around Senator Natasha Akpoti. I think the conversation first started when she had put out some sort of sarcastic apology to the Senate president. Then, all of a sudden, a particular woman called Professor Mgbeke came out and started reeling out a lot of things against Senator Natasha and
dropping voice
notes
with songs,
writing messages.
They have actually composed songs and even released about 3 or 4 songs.
Posting messages and basically to discredit everything that she had said about the Senate president. And the truth is, I'm still honestly waiting for a major statement from Senator Natasha. I think once she had she's put something out. Yeah. I expected it to be more strongly worded, or at this point,
maybe she should
if you those allegations are too heavy for you not to have sued the person. By now, there are quite a number of things, very damning things that she had to say about Senator Natasha. And for me, what makes it sad is for her own, not for her own sake actually, for the sake of the girl child. I'm really praying and hoping that these allegations that this person had laid against her are not true.
Well, for the sake of the boy child.
Oh my God!
I am hoping that people who allege things like rape and sexual assault are being truthful and they're not just wrecking people just because they can.
That's why I said what I said. Yeah, was because you cannot allege such a huge thing, and then information will now come out that you were lying. I think it is sad because at this point, you will now get to a point where people will now stop believing people that have genuine stories.
I took time
think
out.
that it would be sad. I honestly think it would be sad.
To check Professor Mgbeke's Facebook page at the weekend. And at some point, she was pinning for Natasha Akpoti. She was putting a whole lot of things out, supporting her. Yeah. Then she changed. She flipped. And she's actually coming for her now. Today, as of today, she still dropped a few voice lines out. That, of course. So I think it's beyond Natasha denying if she knows the woman. These things look too solid.
That's why I said that if these allegations are not true, I was expecting a stronger reaction from Senator Natasha.
One of the shocking ones and disappointing is the name of Ezekwesili that was mentioned.
Yeah.
And the other women.
A whole former minister, very respected person, and how.
I hope it's not true though that she actually was paid to disrupt.
Even she has not put out anything so serious because
she has put out something.
I'm not saying she has not. At this point, those allegations are too heavy for you not to have been sued like left, right, and center by now. Do you understand?
I just hope
all those there should be court cases lining up against you so much, but it just looks like everybody's just
But at this point, I know Senator Natasha Akpoti has a strong legal team. It's time for them to really call this person to order.
To order, exactly.
If everything she's saying is not true.
So, moving on from that, before I don't know if we will be able to take a lot more stories, but there's one that I wanted to take. Nigerians, Lagosians, especially people on the mainland, and this affects people on the island too. Stop crossing roads, major highways, especially highways that have pedestrian bridges. If there are not a lot of things in Lagos, there are two things that I will say that are in abundance in Lagos: bridges and pedestrian bridges.
Especially Ojota, where they have
has
pedestrian
two bridges side by side. Somebody still got knocked over and killed today by a lorry right under the bridge.
Somebody was unalived.
You people stress me out in this country. I swear to God.
When are you leaving?
You're stressing.
Are you going to Burkina Faso?
I was talking to you.
Okay.
You're just stressing me out. Okay, so Chiemere Okonkwo says, free my guy. I don't know which guy.
That's VDM.
Those VDM. Oh, okay.
VDM.
So, y'all just stress me out so much. The person died just because you felt you were too big to climb the... You're stressing me out. You're just stressing me out too much.
Beyond stressing Dolupo out, please be safe out there. Use bridges where they are available. Please.
Thank you very much. There are quite a number of things we can also say. We'll probably move them to tomorrow. Mr. Donald Trump, the US president, there are quite a number of interesting things that had happened over the weekend up until today that we're going to be looking at.
The only thing I'm going to say is that you cannot tariff your way out of a trade imbalance. But Alcatraz is coming back.
Alcatraz is coming back. Sadly, there's a 4.2 magnitude earthquake that hit Pakistan and Afghanistan. As of the last time I checked, there are no casualties yet. People got injured. So
now, the biggest movies in the world are made in America. But Mr. Trump says...
No, they're not. Most of them are not.
No, the biggest movies in the world are made in America. Mr. Trump says any movie made outside of America that is brought to America now will be tariffed. Yeah. If the world pays them back in kind. I think Hollywood will suffer.
Oh Lord, quite a number of things. And for Liverpool fans, Trent Alexander-Arnold is officially leaving Liverpool.
Bye.
It's official. Harry Kane finally won a trophy in his lifetime.
Inside life.
I'm happy for him. Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead. Peace.